second time, because Julia's made a mistake. I'm just trying to get this thing. Name and position in the club.
All right, so my name is Farah or Farah Hilal, depending on which one you can pronounce. And I'm the co-president of the Muslim Student Association.
I'm Mariam Abdel Shafi. I'm the vice president of the Muslim Student Association.
So I joined it my freshman year.
Well, I only moved here last year, so in this school I just joined last year.
And it wasn't very active. There weren't that many members. I think I was like one of like 5.
But I've been in it all throughout high school.
At the end of freshman year, I kind of stopped going. I got busy with other things, and it just wasn't a priority for me at all. And then sophomore year, I wasn't really in it at all. I didn't show up to almost any of the meetings. But when they sent out kind of like a last-ditch effort at the end of sophomore year, after I filled it out, I ended up getting the position of co-president.
Currently, there's maybe, I want to say 25 kids. Most of the time, we just meet and we pray, because that's very important in our religion.
So what I really wanted to do last year was start a Friday prayer, and that basically means that like in our faith, Muslim men have to pray once a week. It's a mandatory prayer at like in a congregation. It's called Salat al-Goma or Juma, depending on your dialect. And basically, it's a mandatory prayer for men that happens once a week. So Muslims pray 5 times a day, but it doesn't have to be mandatory with a group of people. It's a very specific, kind of like our holy day. So it happens on Fridays. And so part of the problem, though, is that a lot of Muslim students, especially the guys, had to leave school in order to pray. And some of them still do, but we wanted to host one at school so that our members could pray at school and not have to leave and miss like their 6th period every week and stuff like that. And so I was really happy towards the end of last year, we got it started. And so I'm really happy that we're able to provide that for students, especially the freshmen who might not have cars to drive around. We also do a lot of awareness days. We started doing them last year, and we did it because we're kind of like watching the news, and we see that like a lot of the time news coverage is really biased towards one side of an issue, and we feel as though we want to make our side of the story heard to our peers. So the first one we did was for Palestine, and it was around when their water and food supplies were being cut off during Ramadan. And so we started doing this awareness day, and it really kicked off. We had students who are Palestinian actually come up to us and say thank you for doing this, because even though they weren't a part of the club, it really made an impact on them and they were really happy about it. And then the second one we did was Sudan, which was a really big deal for our club because we have a lot of Sudanese club members, but and there was a revolution that was going on in Sudan at the time, and so we kind of did an awareness day for that. And then this year we did one for the Uyghurs in China, and we did one for the Citizenship Act that happened in India. And so the thing though with our awareness days is that what we try to do is inform everyone about all sides of the issue. We don't try to be biased with it at all. And sometimes though, like especially with like advertisement and stuff like that, before people actually hear what we have to say on the issues and before they come and like do the discussions with us and stuff like that, because we welcome people from all sides, we do get a little bit of like backlash from parents especially, who are just like concerned that we're not representing their group well, even though we are, because we know what it feels like to be misrepresented.
It's not the students that have anything to do with anything. The kids our age are very, very understanding, and everyone's really open.
Our administration is super supportive of us. In terms of administration, like whenever we've had problems, I've always like gone to them to help us out with the situations. At least like I started going to them to help out with the situations. But again, I have to go to administration for certain situations. So I feel like when, let's say, like we're in the classroom and we're learning about things and it's not portrayed correctly and it's about us, or our peers are saying things that are politically driven but they're also very offensive. I feel like in that sense, it's not necessarily always a safe place, but it is a place for growth, I believe, because overwhelmingly, the majority of my experiences here have been positive, but there have definitely been negative instances or situations that have stood out to me in terms of not making me feel safe or making me feel like worried about how others perceive me, and also kind of like worried about like where it could lead.
It's more the teachers and the parents, because they don't really understand our new generation.
Overall, I do think that we have more support than we do hate. But the hate's still there.
My teacher says a lot of really, really, really rude things, and I don't think he means to offend me, but sometimes teachers feel like they know everything. You're supposed to be learning from us, and we learn from you. That's how a human relationship works. He told us that 20% of Muslims are terrorists. Do you know how many Muslims there are in the world? About 2 billion. But it's the fastest growing religion in the world. There are Muslims everywhere, not just in the Middle East. So he was like, yeah, 20% of Muslims are terrorists. And we were like, actually, less than 1% of Muslims are terrorists. It's just because the terrorists get more media coverage. So it makes them seem bigger than they actually are, which is really unfortunate.
I feel as though by having a Muslim Student Association, you're not only allowing these students an opportunity to kind of like get together and feel more included with one another, you also allow the other peers at school to understand more about them and to learn more about them so that they don't feel excluded and that other people understand them. So it's like not just like acceptance, but also understanding.
I think sometimes people just get stuck in the mindset that we're just kids and we shouldn't have a voice because they think we don't know anything. We might be young, but we know what's right and wrong. This is who we are. That's why we're not afraid to be loud. That's why we're still going to come together and we're still going to speak out for what we know is right. And we're going to support each other because we're all in this together.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon all of you. My name is Anjum Hadra and I am the junior president of the Muslim Student Association of Centennial High School. I'd like to shout out my fellow club members who are all members of different ethnicities, and we have cultivated an environment in our club where everyone is comfortable, to the point where almost half of our club is non-Muslim. We work hard to spread awareness in a way that is accurate and would prevent such tension from happening to other groups. One of the ways we do this is through our awareness days, which have focused on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the Uyghur Muslims of China, and most recently, India. We spent hours cross-examining sources to ensure that we gave our peers the most accurate information possible. We work hard to make sure no personal biases influence our events. We're a student-led organization that does not work towards the indoctrination of other students into a certain religion or belief system. Our only aim as students is to educate our peers of these unfortunate events in the most objective way possible, especially when it directly impacts Centennial students. I myself am a member of the Indian immigrant student population at Centennial High School, and I can say that in the 2 months following our Awareness Day, there has been no anti-Indian shift in our school or club environment. You will hear allegations that we held this event without understanding what the Citizenship Amendment Bill entails because of our own personal biases against it. I'd like to cite the UN Human Rights Office, which declared the bill to be fundamentally discriminatory, to demonstrate that the information we presented about the bill was not based on our own beliefs. It is the official description of the bill by the UN. An entire Awareness Day only focused on the law itself and its effects on the Muslim population of India. In our information session, we included information about non-Muslim groups that would be negatively affected, as well as the fact that not all Indian states passed the law, in order to ensure that all of our peers had a complete understanding of the bill. We made sure no religious content was addressed in this presentation at all. We've been falsely accused by adults on social media, who have said that we've been used for political manipulation, that a blatant leftist agenda has been forced on us, that the MSA may start proselytization in school. We've been accused of using this event to indoctrinate students against ethnic Indian students, such as myself, for using the school as a platform for religious propaganda, and for contributing to the killing and prosecution of minorities in India's neighboring countries. All of these comments are direct quotes from the Howard County Neighbors United Facebook group. Our MSA events should be understood in their entirety before such assumptions about our moral standing and motivations are made. I'd like to mention the Supreme Court case of Tinker versus Des Moines to remind everyone of the importance of the freedom of expression in this specific context. Thank you.